Hello, my name is Archbishop Carlson. I'm the Archbishop of St. Louis, and I'm so proud of each of you, the academic work you do, the lessons in faith you've learned, and the way you look out for each other. Today, I would like to tell you how important each one of you are to me. I know you practice different drills throughout the year, fire drills, tornado drills, and earthquake drills. The firefighter in this video is going to teach you more about what you need to do in case of these emergency situations, both at school and at home. Please know that you, your classmates, and your teachers are in my daily prayers, and I ask you to remember me when you pray today. Thank you.
So today we're going to talk about some general safety tips and things that you guys can know to help you be prepared in case of an emergency. You guys are old enough that you know your ABCs, right? And you can sing along to songs on the radio. So if you can do those things, then you can memorize 2 phone numbers. And it's really important to have 2 phone numbers memorized. I'll tell you a little secret. A lot of adults don't even have 2 phone numbers memorized because all their phone numbers are programmed in their phone. But sometimes you might find yourself in a situation where you don't have that phone, or you have somebody else's phone and you need to get help. So it's really important to have 2 phone numbers memorized. So those phone numbers could be a lot of different people, right? They could be your mom and dad, it could be mom and grandma, it could be dad and maybe a babysitter that watches you after school, or a trusted neighbor, or just somebody that could help you out if you needed help. Back when I was a kid, every kitchen had a phone on the wall, and I knew that I could go into the kitchen and find a phone, but that's not necessarily the case today. A lot of homes don't even have a landline, and they just use cell phones, right? So it's important not only to know what number to call in an emergency, 911, but it's important to know how to call 911. So even though somebody's phone is locked, there's still ways that you can get into that phone to make an emergency phone call. So it's important to talk to your parents, practice with their phones, and know how you would call 911 using their phone. If there's an emergency and you've called 911, they're going to ask you what your address is. And you guys all know what your address is, right? So let's say you're at a friend's house and you need to call 911 and you don't know the address of where you are. Where could you look to find that address? Yes?
You could go outside at the house, or you could go to the mailbox and look.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anywhere else you could find the address? Maybe inside? Yeah.
If they get mail, you could look on the mail because usually their address is on there.
Right, on any kind of magazine or junk mail inside, there's always going to be the address, and you could look there and tell the 911 dispatcher what the address is. When you're on the phone with the 911 operator, it's important to stay calm and listen to their instructions because they're there to help you. So parents often tell their kids not to go outside without their permission, but in an emergency, sometimes the rules change. So if you need help and you don't have a phone to call 911, it's okay to go outside and run to the neighbor's house, or even to flag down a passing car to get some help. So whenever there's an emergency at school, there's a couple things that I want you guys to remember, okay? First of all, I want you to follow your teacher's instructions. They're going to make decisions that are best to keep you safe. When you have an emergency drill at school, I really want you guys to move quickly but quietly so you can listen to instructions from your teachers. And finally, and to me the most important thing when you're dealing with an emergency, is not to freak out, to be brave and listen to your teachers. Because when you freak out, do you know what happens? Your brain stops thinking and then you can't make any decisions. And being brave, that's a choice that you can make. When I go into a house that's on fire, I'm scared, but I have to choose to be brave. It's kind of like when you guys maybe have to get up in front of the class and recite a poem or something. It can be a little scary, but you choose to be brave. So it's important to not freak out, be brave, and listen to your teacher's instructions. So when you have a fire drill at school, it's important to be calm, be quiet, and listen to your teacher's instructions. Every school has its own fire emergency plan that your teachers and principals have put together, but that plan changes slightly for each classroom. So it's good to know what the specific plan is for your classroom. When the fire alarm goes off, you need to line up quietly, listening to your teacher's instructions.
This is an emergency, it's not a drill.
And know the quickest and safest way to exit the building. When you guys get outside, you go to your meeting place and you line up so that your teacher can count you and make sure that everybody's out of the building safely.
All right, great job.
It's also good to practice what would happen if the door that you normally go out is blocked or you can't go out that way. So having a second option in mind is really a great thing to keep you safe in an actual emergency.
What happens when the alarm goes off and I'm not in the classroom?
That's a great question. So it's important to know some other exits to your school building as well, and your teacher will help you figure that out and let you know what that option would be. Or find another teacher or another class that you can buddy up with and leave the building with them. So when you have fire drills at school, I want you to take them seriously, be quiet, and in the event of a real emergency, always remember, don't freak out, be brave, and listen to your teachers. You guys practice your fire drills at school all the time, right? Even every month maybe. But when was the last time you practiced a fire drill at home? Do you even have a plan at home for what you would do in the case of a fire? It's really important to have that discussion with your parents and come up with a plan, just like you do at school. What would a fire drill look like at home? Well, it would look a lot like it does at school. So you could lay in bed and pretend like you're sleeping, and mom or dad could hit the smoke detector button, and your first thing would be to get out of the house. So you would roll out of bed, crawl across the floor, because that's where the clear air is going to be if there's smoke in your house. Put your hand on the door to check for heat, and if it's not hot, you could open the door. You're going to go out the nearest exit, and you're going to go to your meeting place, which might be a tree, a mailbox, or your neighbor's front porch, where mom or dad would count and make sure that everybody's out of the house. There's 3 things I want you guys to remember when it comes to emergency drills. First, I want you to take the drills seriously so that you guys know what to do in a real emergency. Secondly, I want you to practice them. Practice them both at school and at home. And third, and maybe most important, in the event of a real emergency, I want you not to freak out, be brave, and listen to your teachers for instructions.